Shazam 2, the first movie of the finished Snyderverse, is here. Two movies remain, Flash and Aquaman the Lost Kingdom. Let's talk about this one. It is weird to say that this was a nice superhero movie, but here we are. It was fun, enjoyable, lighthearted, a risk-free movie, but it was kinda forgettable. The first Shazam was a fresh and bright movie in the dark, bleak and unfortunately very bloated Snyderverse in the DCEU that the fans really needed. This movie was definitely a step down and it wasn't as good as the first movie, but it was still better than arguably the past 5 projects of MCU. I am looking at you, Disney Channel, with those weird TV shows, especially She-Hulk and Miss Marvel. But let me say right here that I say that this movie was good. By no means I want to say that this was really good. It was a forgettable sequel. This sequel was made because the first movie was a fan favorite and that's it. Shazam! Fury of the Gods might have been the most generic superhero movies I've ever seen in my life. It was really safe. Some might even argue that this movie was written by ChatGPT, and I would not doubt it. Small scales, nothing special happened, everything went exactly where they were in the beginning of the movie. You might ask what happens in this movie. Well, daughters of Atlas steal the staff that gave Billy his powers, and they want to plant the seed of life on Earth, and this seed will restore their universe. Billy, on the other hand, is still trying to do his superhero life, and now with his family, with his brothers and sister of the foster home, they try to save the world. If I want to review this movie, this reminds me of a picture that I saw on the internet, and it shows a room with tons of stuff that look very familiar, but you can't say the name of any of it. I can't say any good things about this movie, but I can't say any bad things about this movie as well, because as I said, it was terrifyingly generic. Again, I have to argue that this movie was written by ChatGPT because it was just very predictable. I don't know how did they allow this to happen, but there was no creativity in the movie, there was no risk, and yeah, it was safe. About the actors, well, Zachary Levi was still funny, a bit cringier in the jokes than the previous movie, but still a great choice. The actor playing young version of Shazam, I don't remember his name, he was a bit funnier compared to the previous one, but he was still, way more serious than the superhero version. Jaimon Hanso or Digimon Honso, I will never learn to say this guy's name, had a bigger part compared to the previous movie, and he was actually pretty fun. I wanted to see more of him. The villains of the movie, the daughters of Atlas, there were 3 but 2 were famous. Helen Mirren was invested actually in the role. That was weird. She was good and commanding, but I can't say the same about Lucy Liu because she looked like she just came from a session of Botox because she didn't even flinch in even one scene. Nothing. She was stiff as a stone. The CGI was as generic as you wanted. As I said, this movie had everything. It even had a character arc, because Billy was worried about his situation in the family because he was turning 18, and everything was just fine. A fun comedy family movie, superhero movie to watch, that's it. But still, I have some issues and questions about the post-credit scenes with Jennifer Holland and the other guy, Steve Agee, I don't remember the name. Anyways, I don't know what are they doing. Why don't they just cut these scenes out? It is just weird. It looks like a dead man walking, and only God knows what will James Gunn do to this universe. And yeah, that was my review of the Shazam. At the end, I do tell you to watch this movie. Don't expect anything weird, don't expect to have a lot of fun. If you have nothing to do, it is better than doing nothing. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.